Hey Ashish, Grant Putnam here, Putnam Landscaping. Just going through your updated maintenance proposal for this coming season. All right, I wanted to point out the differences to you. So as we kind of make our way down through here, lawn mowing, the biggest difference was just the spring cleanup. We spent roughly 60 hours doing the spring cleanup. Because you have a lot of pine trees, a lot of the branches break. It's just a major cleanup to do your property in the spring. All right, so I adjusted the price accordingly for that. Okay, so as we make our way down, the other major change was the amount of time it takes to trim your plants and pull your weeds. So we're very diligent about that, and you've got a huge investment in regards to plants and trees, and they have to be trimmed throughout the season for aesthetic reasons, and also they don't get overgrown, so you don't have to rip them out. Every year, as you can imagine, the plants get a little bit bigger, so they take a little bit more time to trim. In 2017, we spent 175 hours. All right, that's why we quoted you for 2018 175 hours. So we had 175 hours budgeted for last year's contract, yet we spent 193 hours on your property. Okay, so I'm budgeting 193 hours for this year towards the proposal, which raises the cost a bit. If it ends up taking us longer, we'll still end up spending the extra time to do it the right way, right? Similar to the situation in your lawn with, you've had a couple of diseases the last couple of seasons with all the humidity and rain, and we actually went and we ended up composting and seeding the whole lawn. It cost me personally a few $1,000s every time we've done that for you, but I want to retain you as a client, and we always are going to stand behind our product. So similar to this, if we budget you a certain number of hours, I'm not going to, at the last couple visits, I'm not going to tell my crew, hey guys, just don't do any more work here because we've already met our budget. And the idea is not to meet our budget, but the idea is to make sure that we do the best possible job. So when you are getting, if you decide you want to get another quote for this year, just be aware that if you get a fixed maintenance quote, a lot of other companies will budget a certain number of hours and only spend that much time on your property, and really be harming the long-term investment that you have in all these plants and trees. So that's something to point out. Okay. We keep track of all the time via employees' cell phones. Every time they're on your property, they're clocked into each service that they're performing. So that's, again, was a difference in cost. Okay. Mulching, the price just went up just because the material cost went up. Okay, so that's that. Deer, rabbit, spray repellent, again, we're doing that for free for you. So it's a $783 value. We're doing that as a free service. Let's see here. There's a bunch of optional services that if you elect that you want to do this year, then we can handle that for you. Then we're into plant and tree healthcare. We kept the pricing the same on this as last year. All right, so that's identical. Tick sprays, identical pricing. Irrigation service, the only difference is we're charging you equal amounts to do the adjustments. We have to come several times during the season and adjust the water based on symptoms of the lawn and obviously the weather patterns. And again, most irrigation companies don't offer that as a service, or if they do, they're charging you $100 every time they go there. So there is distinct advantage, obviously, having an all-in-one service where you get some benefits from having a higher frequency of visits to the property. You typically get much better results doing that than if you split up the services amongst like 5 or 6 different service vendors. Okay. Let's see here. Down into lawn fertilizing, same thing. I charge you the same price, even though, again, we ended up, last 2 seasons, we've spent a lot of money fixing disease issues, which is somewhat out of our control, just so you understand. A lot of people had those situations. But for you, I want to maintain, again, a long-term relationship. I want to stand behind the work. So overall, this year, your price without the sales tax was about $34,165. If I'm looking at last year's proposal, which is here on my desk, it was $31,455. And you'll notice when you're looking at this compared to this, those are the changes, and those are mainly in general lawn care services, specifically the spring cleanup and also the trimming the plants, which again is roughly about 8 to 10% higher than last year, which is kind of a normal situation just because the plants are getting bigger. So, and I also, like I said, I included the free rabbit spray repellent. I also included a free insect control for the lawn, which most lawn fertilizing companies will charge you extra for. All right, so that's it. I'll shoot this over to you. I'll be happy to meet with you next time you're in town to walk around the property and talk about any projects you want to do this spring. I know we did chat about possibly redoing landscaping in the front. But again, appreciate all the work, and we'll chat soon.